Minister, the Royal College of Physicians report on the welfare, mental health of children living in homelessness could be summed up by saying simply the government is guilty of child abuse. There's no other way to describe it. Its failure to put a secure roof over the homes of, over the heads of 4,000 children means the state is guilty of abuse. And the consequences, the lifelong consequences for many of those children rest firmly on the shoulders of the governments that have precipitated and presided over this crisis. In 2011, when Fine Gael and Labour came into government, the programme for government promised to end homelessness by the end of the term of that government. The opposite happened. By the end of the term of that government, we had reached the worst level of homelessness and child homelessness in the modern history of the state, and that has continued to get worse under this government. But, and it's important to say this, there are some winners out of this, and they're very conscious of it. Oireachtas, the biggest landlord in the country, declared at the beginning of this year its portfolio was worth 921 million, just under €1 billion. Its share price had jumped 13%. Its net rental income had jumped 13.5% on the previous year. And Margaret Sweeney, the CEO, summed up the situation. She said, rental demand remains strong, and whilst it is beginning to increase while supply is beginning to increase slowly, the supply of residential accommodation remains constrained. Therefore, the prospects for growth in the Irish market remain good. And in that, it just sums it up. What's bad for the children living in homelessness accommodation, whose welfare is being destroyed, whose futures are being stolen, is good for Oireachtas, and they know it. It is lining their pockets. The worse the crisis is, the more profit they make. And that's true of Cairn Homes, the biggest owner of zone building land in Dublin, who drip-feed the housing onto the market to make the prices stay high and then share out each year the profit bonuses to their directors. It is absolutely shameful. And you say, oh, well, we're improving the situation. But the truth is, more than 2/3 of your social housing plans rely on HAPs, which are private landlords. So even if your plan succeeds, which is doubtful, the net result will be the vast majority of people will continue to be prey to the Oireachtas of this world, will continue to line their pockets, and periodically will be evicted into homelessness, causing the sort of hardship and suffering that the Royal College of Physicians has pointed out. It is shameful.
Deputy.